Today's episode of Diamonds Are Forever, episode 2 of Hard Knocks Review, is here. Episode 2, we watched it, we reviewed it, we mined a lot of gold out of an episode that didn't have a ton at face value. However, that doesn't stop us. Diamante joins me just as last week. We give our general thoughts, our reactions. We had a lot of them. Our predictions. We hit the categories. And as always, we top it off with our Diamonds Are Forever story of our past. I got to say, Diamante surprised me with his this week, so you're going to want to hear that. Hey, everybody, if you are new to my channel, give it a subscribe. The channel's growing, and you are a part of it. So thank you for listening and watching to the shows. What do? Do you listen? Do you watch the show? Both options are available. Let me know. I'm always curious to hear how you take it all in. Also, quick show update. The Burbank Festival, 2 shows, 2 nights went well. If you came out to see me, I thank you for that. I think stand-up is officially up and rolling again here in my neck of the woods on the West Coast. So thank you all who enjoyed the stand-up. And more stuff is coming, so stay tuned. I took the opportunity to do a little recording of shows with other comics as well who were on the festival. We broke down comedy festivals in general, how they fared in the festival, what they thought of it. So look out for those shows coming up on the channel as well. But right now, the Hard Knocks episode review with myself and Diamante Williams. Diamonds Are Forever. Get ready, buckle up, because here it is. All right, here we are. It is 8:18 West Coast time. Diamante is joining me. He's there in Houston. I'm in the studio in Los Angeles. We just finished episode 2 of Hard Knocks, an episode where I think we got a little bit of a feel of what the team is going to look and feel like after this episode. I feel like this was a lot of foundation. This was a lot of setup. But let me start with this for you, Diamante. Opening question. Is this the turning point for the Dallas Cowboys franchise?
It has to be. And the reason why I say that is I just look at the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, and he's getting up there in age. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's like late 70s.
Right. We didn't figure out his age, did we?
Yeah.
Late
77,
70s, yeah.
78. I think he might be 78 years old.
Right.
And so he doesn't have too many seasons left, and I think this might be his best team on paper. Period. They have a lights out offense. As long as Dak can stay healthy, they're going to put up points. And then they spent all their draft picks on defense this year. So this has got to be the turning point. This has to be it. There's not much time.
Couple of Jerry Jones quick notes. I just looked it up. 78 years old.
That's it.
Born in Los Angeles, California. Net worth. You want to take a guess at his net worth?
I mean, the Cowboys are worth like $6 billion by themselves, so he's got to be like at least 10, 7 to 10. He's in that range.
According to Wikipedia, 8.8 billion is the net worth. So you're not that far off.
Wow.
Any other North Little Rock High School, University of Arkansas. So
yep.
Jerry Jones, 78. It's almost not even a question of, is it the turning point? It has to be the turning point.
It has to be the turning point.
It has to be.
This guy might croak one day, man. But hey, he looks pretty good for his age. I mean, he's moving fast. His mind is going. His mind's still super sharp. So it's got to be the turning point.
Well, I took a bit of a note from you last week, the start of the episode. And for this week, it's a blue moon for me. Blue Moon beer. I chose Blue Moon. Number one, it's late summer. This is a good summer beer. And also, if you're ever standing at the bar and you're out of ideas, out of options, you can always say Blue Moon.
Yep.
And you're kind of covered, Blue Moon, Stella is another one you can always just throw out there, and they're probably going to have it. Yeah. So I went Blue Moon for the episode.
There you go. That's nice. That's a good choice. No orange for that?
No, it's straight out the bottle. This is just regular.
You're hardcore.
Crack it open and start drinking it. That's right. Yeah, I'm tough, man. I went to Catholic schools. What about this though? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I didn't hear your beer.
I got my beer of the week. Here we go. Here's my beer of the week.
What's the call?
This is from Fullbrook Aleworks, Richmond, Texas, here in Houston. It's called a Fullbrook Cream Ale. It's a blueberry.
Very nice. So we have 2 beers ready for us. As someone who lives in Houston, is there a lot of folks following Cowboys Hard Knocks? What's the vibe in Texas, in a non-Dallas town in Texas, for Cowboys preseason?
That's a good question. And
thank you. Show's over.
Done. I think it's with everything that's going on with the Texans and Deshaun Watson and his case and him not wanting to be here, I think a lot of Texans are losing interest right now, with the Texans. But there's always a huge Cowboys following everywhere you go, and you know that, and the same goes here in Houston. So I don't really see. They don't cover the Cowboys here, so I don't really. Why would they? They cover the Texans, so you don't ever hear them on their sports talk radio here in Houston cover the Cowboys. So
interesting.
I don't think it changes.
Interesting. What about this? I'm thinking all my friends have kids, and we're talking sports now. But like I always hear their stories about their kids. What sports movies do you think you would absolutely force on your kids? There's always that one you're like, you got to see this sports movie. You got to see that sports movie. You got young ones, so you may be able to force movies on them still.
Yeah. So probably the sports. My favorite movie has got to be. It's got to be I always forget the name of it. It's with Jamie Foxx. What is that?
Any Given Sunday?
Any Given Sunday, yeah.
You would show that to your kids?
Yeah, why not? What other sports movies are really out there that are going to be suitable for the kiddos, right? I guess we could talk about The Sandlot. We could talk about movies like that, right?
Yeah.
I was, for some reason, I was just had tunnel vision for football and everything, but that was one of my favorites as well. Sandlot was awesome.
You were a Sandlot fan,
over and over as a kiddo. We used to watch that all the time.
Yeah. You know what's weird too? I hear this with a lot of like kids in their 20s these days. The movie Mighty Ducks is super important to them. To me, I saw it was a fun kids movie, but it wasn't that important. But some like people in their 20s now saw Mighty Ducks, and that's almost their Rocky. I hear so much love for the Mighty Ducks. I think that would be a good one to force on the kids too.
That is a good one, as a matter of fact. Yes. That's a classic. Now you're bringing up some old school stuff. I'm not a huge movie buff like you and the boys are, man. But now you're bringing up some classics that we grew up to. The Mighty Ducks. What else?
I'm always curious about this. When we were kids, we were 90s kids, mid 90s. There were certain movies that were absolutely required reading essential to like have in your head. Throughout high school, you had to know the movie. You had to know all the lines. For me, there's a couple. You had to know Independence Day. You had to know, you absolutely had to know Bad Boys was another one where there was a lot of quotes you had to throw on. But I might say the one that was the most required in the high school mid-90s was Friday. You had to know Friday front and back if you wanted to communicate. with your friends. You had to know all the lines to say back and forth. And almost like honorable mention was like Selena. Like you had to see Selena when it came out. So what were your required movies? Were there any that were just absolutely on your friends' minds all the time? You'd always reference them?
Oh man, Friday was probably the most classic one
Friday carried. Yeah, Friday definitely carried over.
And you can say that, you can say all kinds of quotes from that movie all day long, right? I think we had a text message chain that referenced Friday this week. You know, it's black as the berry, sweet as the juice. Right?
Yep, right. That's right. Quote from Friday. That was the movie. As soon as it ended, the VHS ended, you're just like, let's just watch it again. You just start it over. You just watch it all over again. So Friday carried over.
That and just a lot of the scenes from Saturday Night Live growing up were something that you always had to make sure you were up to speed on, right? So when you went back to class, when
you were an SNL guy. You liked SNL?
Guy. I like that.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Who were your SNL guys? Who were the players that you were into the most?
Oh man, I was big with the Chris Rock era, right? That Chris Rock era, right before he blew up. I mean, he was awesome. That, and of course we grew up in the Wayne's World, the Mike Myers era, right?
Oh yeah.
Dana. What is it? What was his last name?
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Just that whole era was awesome. And then who did the skit? And Josh Garnett, people love me.
That was Stuart Smalley. Was the character,
Smalley.
And that's Al Franken, who became the senator.
Al Franken, yes, from Minnesota.
Really? Yeah, that surprises me. I didn't know you were such an SNL fan.
Yeah, I love it. I don't catch up with it much these days, but yeah, growing up, we had to watch that.
Yeah, that was the heyday of SNL. That was a big one. Just powerhouse. You had Wayne's World. You had Rob Schneider, Sandler's coming out of that era.
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Chris Farley, of course.
Yeah.
Since the required reading with SNL, that's a good point. You had to have the lines in your head come Monday morning from SNL to like say on the school grounds.
Or if you got punched in the stomach, you got folded over like a lawn chair, right?
Let's talk episode 2. It starts with Mike McCarthy giving his fiery pregame speech, which I thought was a nice start into it. Kind of like,
I like that.
Came in with a lot of speed. Like, when some movies start and you're already in the middle of the heist or the getaway. And I was like, whoa, all right, here we go. So we see Mike McCarthy. Dak still isn't throwing. A lot of DiNucci time. The players take yoga.
and that's strange to me because DiNucci, like, he's the third stringer, and they're not even talking about Garrett Gilbert, who's the second stringer. I guess that guy's lame. I guess he has no personality.
Well, let's talk DiNucci first then. Yeah, let's start with DiNucci because this was kind of heavy DiNucci. And I had that question too, where I was like, oh, is DiNucci second string or third string? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, he's getting a lot of reps. He's playing chess. And he's talking to Dak. Like, do you feel comfortable with DiNucci at all?
No. I don't even think he's going to make the team this year, to be honest with you. Last year they went with 3 quarterbacks. To start the season, it was Dak, the Red Rocket, who's in Chicago right now. What's his name? Andy Dalton.
Right.
And then DiNucci was the third string, and the people were all talking about why come in the season with 3 quarterbacks? What's the point of that? I mean, good thing they did. Hindsight's 2020, but they had enough quarterbacks to step in when Dak got hurt. But I don't think he makes the team this year. I don't see that huge growth that you're supposed to see as a quarterback, that you're hoping to see from your quarterback from year 1 to year 2. I feel like he's still, and they kind of got on him on this episode. They're like, hey man, you're not playing fast enough, right? You're real slow. So I don't think DiNucci's going to make it, man. I think this is.
You don't even think he's going to make the team, huh?
I don't think so.
I could totally see that because I just was under the assumption he was the second string quarterback. And if he's not, they're definitely going to lose him and they're going to get like a vet who's out on waivers for the emergency quarterback at some point would be my thought. But yeah, DiNucci, it's so obvious when he's next to Dak and Dak is talking and DiNucci's talking. Dak is obviously the starter. DiNucci looks like he's a deer in the headlights. Somewhat. He's still figuring it out. But then this was interesting. Then they go to him playing chess, totally different person.
Yeah, totally.
He's confident. He's talking trash. He's doing the moves. So that was interesting. The fact that we saw that DiNucci can be more of a leader, can be more confident, but he just has to play chess.
Yeah, just got to play chess against
on a pretty
rookie.
Fancy chessboard, I might add.
Did you see those pieces?
Yes.
They're like bronze and silver pieces. I was like,
and
wow,
they had the clock
nice.
too. You know, they hit the clock as well. So DiNucci knows how to play chess.
There's a few people. I promise you, we'll see a few scenes of people playing chess within the series. I promise you.
Oh, really? You know other players on the team that play chess?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I follow the Cowboys all the time, and they're always posting themselves playing chess. So Amari Cooper, who really hasn't even been on Hard Knocks yet because he's been injured. They haven't even showcased him at all.
Right.
He's a huge chess guy. And I know he plays Parsons a lot. So I'm pretty sure we'll see some more chess matches.
Couple things in this episode too. We got introduced to a few new players. We had a lot of DiNucci time. Then we had DeMarcus Lawrence. He's back. We had Adam, is it Darby?
Yeah, the coach
who's from England.
Yep.
And then we had this Azur Kamara guy. So we did a deep dive this week with players that I didn't know were Cowboys. Yep. So of those three, had you ever heard any of those three before?
I had never heard of the coach. I had never heard of Kamara. I may have heard his name or something, just obviously, listening, to different Cowboys podcasts, but no, I don't know anything about those guys at all.
Yeah, I'd never heard any of these names. And even though, I don't know where they're going with it yet, but I think I found my guy to root for to make the team in Kamara. I'm like, this is the guy. This is my guy. I want to make the team. He's got the refugee story. He's got the family in the stands. He's undersized. He's obviously undersized. Yeah. Like he looks way lean out there playing D-line, but that's my guy. I was like, how can you not root for this guy?
I love it.
Yeah. So those three were our new players to it. Overall though, they hit so much DiNucci through this episode. They had him in the beginning, they had a little middle, and then back at the end.
Yep.
And it's going to, if he gets cut, like you're thinking, that's going to be so bad.
Yeah. I mean, that quarterback position is, and you're a quarterback for America's team, right? So there's so much, so much pressure to perform there. So I wonder if he's feeling that right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He looks very, very nervous out on the field. He needs to get that chessboard out on the field somehow.
You kind of look like DiNucci a little bit if you think about it, Pat.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Yeah. We've got the beard going right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'm 5 days into my beard, and that's usually about my limit. The beard, it gets really, really coarse, and I feel it on my face. I don't know if this is normal in beard practice, but I feel it taking over my face, and then I always puss out and I cut it. It's probably a day away. I'm gonna chop it off or something. It bothers me. Do you ever get to the point where your facial hair bothers you?
Yes, it just starts itching, and I'm getting to that point too.
Yeah,
I need to get a haircut too, man. Looking a little rough these days. So what happens when you're on daddy duty for the last week?
No haircut. You got a growth. You got a 3-day beard. You're drinking craft beer. That's how it starts.
This is what relaxes me at night after taking care of the kids for the past 5 days, right?
Watching SNL reruns.
shout out to all the full-time moms out there, man. That's something serious. Cheers to you guys.
This pandering moment is brought to you by Diamante Williams. We're gonna thank the troops later. We're gonna thank all the single moms. We're gonna thank all the first responders. We're gonna keep it going for everybody who keeps it going.
Let's go.
What did you think about the inter squad, or not inter squad? What the practice with the Rams? Fun wrinkle to start there.
Yeah, I love it that NFL teams do that. And then not only that, I really liked it. I liked it because they went up against the Rams, who supposedly is supposed to be some people's pick to, challenge Tampa Bay for the NFC Championship. So they're supposed to be up there. They're supposed to be a playoff team. And then, of course, they've got the number one defensive guy in football, probably arguably the best guy in football, Aaron Donald, right? And then they get into a scuffle. I thought that was super cool, right? Did you see that?
I thought HBO did it really well, where they were building up to the fight.
Yep.
And they were like little push on the shoulder, okay, a little scuff, a little holding the guy on the ground. I'm like, we're building to a fight. Like we didn't really ultimately get the fight, but like I was like, here it comes. Like great job by HBO to make something out of potentially nothing. Yeah. And it got me hooked. Yeah, the practice was fun.
And they were filming the guys too. They were like telling each other, "Oh man, that's how it starts." Yep. When they just see somebody shove somebody, "Oh man, that's exactly how it starts."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was building. I liked it. Kudos that for the filmmaking side of it. HBO hit a home run on that. Build up the drama for the fight.
They did a good job. They did a good job on this episode catching slow shots, right?
I have that in my notes too. Are we ever going to get tired of slow motion?
No way.
I don't think we ever are.
The sweat just flying off people's faces. And then the cameras are getting way better these days. You got your I wouldn't be surprised if they're using 8K cameras out there already, right? Mm-hmm. For sure they're 4K cameras, but the picture frames are just perfect going in slow-mo, right? Awesome.
Yeah, so as the cameras get better, slow motion gets better. Mm-hmm. It's the best. Slow motion is essentially the bacon to eyes. Anytime you add bacon to anything, it makes it 10 times better. Anytime you add slow motion to anything, it makes it 10 times better. I had the same thought of like slow motion is the best. I will watch a tight spiral in slow motion any day.
Almost looks fake. It almost looks like the whole screen freezes and then it's like you're in 3D and it just shifts around, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe it's something in our brains. When we see slow motion, we know this isn't physically what we ever see in real life. So maybe that's why we lock in. We feel like we're seeing something special because you can never see that with your own eyes. So yeah, fun practice. HBO milked a lot of good stuff out of the practice. The fight,
they did.
The slow motion, a lot of DiNucci reps. It's almost like they were like, dude, this is a DiNucci heavy episode. We need to do some camera tricks.
We ain't got nothing. Jerry Jones ain't letting us put any content out there.
Very little Jerry Jones appearances in this episode.
Yeah. He only had a quick interview with Michael Irvin. And
that was it. Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones's office is still barren. He's got his iPad on a book. There's still nothing in there, and he's talking with Michael Irvin.
I'm surprised he hasn't got fed up and just said, "Somebody give me some furniture in here."
Yeah, right? Just run to the IKEA and let's get like a couch, a sectional, just a couple things, a big screen. We're gonna be here a little while. We got 5 episodes of Hard Knocks. Let's spruce it up. I'm very concerned about Jerry's office.
I'm so used to seeing him in a suit. He looks so funny just wearing a polo with like he has some Under Armour underneath the polo and his little baseball cap on.
Yep. He's very casual right now. Very casual. Jerry Jones.
In training camp mode.
Training camp mode. Yeah. We're only in episode 2. He could be revving up to something. Yeah. What I like, they would always do this in movies. You got the coach or the teacher or something. They're training, they're practicing, but the day of like that first game or something, the coach like dresses up, like they put on a suit or something, and it gives the players like a jolt. They all like clap and stuff. I was watching Apollo 13 yesterday, and there's the scene where the mission control guy is about to, do the takeoff, and his wife knits him a vest, and he puts on the vest, and everybody's like, looks good. He's like, all right, let's begin, gentlemen. Let's begin. I was like, I want that. I want Jerry Jones to like just dress it up week 1 or something like that. I think they'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
First up, was this the Cowboys' first preseason game? Arizona.
This is the second. So
are we counting the Hall of Fame game?
You got to. I mean,
okay, you count the Hall of Fame game. So preseason game number 2.
Yep.
Cardinals versus Dallas. Parsons' mom is back
in Arizona. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sharice Parsons is right in there.
Her.
Yeah, I like her too.
I like her.
You know what I don't like about all sports? At some point now, I look like I'm the same age of the parents. I'm looking at Sharice Parsons like she could be 32 years old. She could be 42 years old. She looks pretty young.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, man, she's like his sister. That's like his right. Mom. It's like his sister just rooting for her brother or something, right?
Yes. Yeah. I love it though. I'm like, I love it when like the family, the spouse or whatever gets into the player on the field. But then 2 minutes later, I'm like, Parsons' mom looks like she's younger than me. And then I start to get mad at sports all over again. Probably is. Yeah.
Parsons is what? Probably like 21, 22.
Right. Mean, Parsons a rookie. So let's say he's 21 or 22.
Yeah.
She could be, say, 42. Very possible.
She could easily just be barely, 18, 19 years older than him, which is right at what? What is that? Right at 40?
It's going to put her at 40. Yeah. Say she had him at 19 or 20. Then she's like my age. Yeah. Which is what I hate about sports. You watch sports long enough, you start to get mad at your own age.
We should have a segment of players that we're seeing now that we watch their dads play.
Yeah,
that's true. We should have a segment like that.
Right. Well, we probably all heard it with like our dads and stuff. They're like, Grant Hill playing for Duke. I remember his dad, Calvin Hill. And you're like, shut up, Dad, shut up, whatever. And now that's us. And we're like, I don't remember no Calvin Hill. And now that's us to be like, Patrick Surtain, that's his son. He's playing. And I hate it.
Jeez.
Go ahead. I was going to say, this was a low-key Zeke episode. Not a lot of Zeke playing. Man. But he had a lot of silly moments in this episode. Again, I don't know what I like how he did the preseason warm-up speech. And then he does like, all right, Cowboys. And then instantly starts eating. I couldn't figure out what he was eating. Like, I think it was seeds.
Yeah, he was eating sunflower seeds. The dude,
he goes straight,
I'm telling you,
straight to seeds.
Yeah. He's like, do I got seeds? Yeah.
To himself.
Goofy guy.
He's not talking to anybody. He's like, do I have seeds? Yes, I do.
He has to. Somebody has to follow around that guy with a video camera at all times because
he's surprisingly entertaining.
Yeah, he talks to himself all the time, and he's just into stuff all the time. He's like your little brother, right? Your little joking little brother.
Yeah.
I like Zeke, man. That's what I have as far as who should have a reality. Who should be?
Oh yeah. TV. We'll get to our Zeke thoughts. The episode also started with Zeke wanting to baby powder his nuts. Did you catch that? That was fun. He's like, I have the quote.
I think it was his ass, actually. It was his butt cheek.
He said here's the quote, I have to powder my gooch. So what is gooch? Is it the...
I thought he said glutes. That's what I thought he said.
I thought he said gooch.
No, he said glutes because at the end of the day, he said, man, if I fart, you're going to see this big old puff of smoke come out of my butt.
So you think he said glutes, huh?
I think he said glutes.
Interesting. We might have a nominee for pending questions.
There we go.
Go. So low-key Zeke episode, yet just as entertaining.
Yep.
And then my final thought for the episode was Dan Quinn from the booth can't sit down. Like all the coaches are sitting, with their iPads, and Dan Quinn can't sit down. He's standing up and he's yelling. He's into the game.
Yeah,
so he's pumped.
I'm surprised he's in that booth instead of on the field being the defensive coordinator. I guess he has a better
That's
view.
That's true. The defensive coordinator usually on the field. Maybe it's a preseason thing.
Yeah.
That the offensive coordinator is usually in the booth. Defense is usually on the field, right?
Yep. Correct. I think my takeaway from the entire episode, Pat, was that they're cutting from camp. Um, I think my take is, hey, they miss Dak, number one, right?
Uh-huh.
We all know we're not going to see the real Cowboys until we actually see Dak in there as the quarterback full time. And then my biggest takeaway as well is I like Coach. I think they should do more scenes with Coach Mike McCarthy. I think he has some
I
really
really
good
hope
stuff.
that's coming. You're right. I feel like we
Yeah,
haven't met Mike McCarthy yet.
at all. And he has some good quotes, like you said. He started the episode with a really to heart speech, right? A motivating speech. I haven't gotten enough of him yet, so
Mm-hmm.
that's my takeaway so far.
This episode was definitely setup, a lot of setup. Like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was just a lot of building. We learned about
yeah.
a few more characters. We haven't had the breakout star yet in the
Nope.
episodes. We're still learning.
Or story.
We're still plot. We're
I
still
guess
laying
so.
down tracks.
Yeah, I guess the arm, I guess, is a big story, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
The more I'm watching Cowboys, the more I'm thinking like this team is living and dying with Dak. If he's good, they're good. If he's average, they're going to be average.
yeah,
I don't feel like the defense can carry them. We're only 2 episodes in, but I don't feel like there's anything. How Dak goes is how the team is going to go as of now.
correct.
And I'm worried because his shoulder hurts. He's coming off the big injury. I'm still worried. I'm still worried for Dak.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, they don't even have their number one wide receiver out there yet.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb is getting huge prime time right now, of course. And then they're one of their top defensive players, DeMarcus Lawrence, hasn't even really gotten out there. This was the first episode you see him, semi practicing. So there's a lot of still injured players that play key positions for the Cowboys that we have yet to see. I'm wondering if HBO is going to keep that away from the media. Maybe they, Mike. I know Mike McCarthy is a guy who likes to have that element of surprise. I know he is. So I wonder if he has a lot to say with what's being shown. Because I don't want to say this week's episode was dry, but it lacked content, right? It was just like nothing was intense. Nothing grabbed me and was like, oh man, that was awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
From any of this episode. I mean, so I'm wondering if that's the reason.
Should have known when it was heavy DiNucci that this was going to be a coasting episode.
Because
when a lot of screen time is the third string quarterback playing chess, we should have known.
Because it's Garrett Gilbert. I mean, I'm me following it, every day on Twitter and, listening to their home radio show and everything. It's Garrett Gilbert taking all the snaps right now. Like, you don't ever hear them talking about DiNucci. It's Garrett Gilbert, and they had a whole episode on DiNucci. Just strange.
Yeah. We got a lot of categories to go through, so let's start it up. Here we go. First category, we did it last week. MVP scene of the episode. I have 3 nominees. Tell me if you have these or you want to add any to it. MVP scene, Mike McCarthy's pregame speech.
Yep.
I love the way it started. I love that he cusses at the team. I wrote a few of his lines in. You better fucking bring it to these guys. I like that. We got to get on the edge. I like that quote because it's a coach quote I haven't heard before. Like, I never heard anybody say, let's get on the edge. I've heard him say, like, let's get after their ass. Let's get a hat on a hat. Helmet's not a chair. So
let's knock these people, right? He was encouraging the knocking people's heads off type of play today. Yeah.
Next nominee. Yeah, I like them. I like how it started. Next nominee, the final play of the Cardinals preseason game where Kamara strips the QB only to be called back for a false start. Yeah. What drama.
That was tough. I was tough. I fell asleep on that game watching it, the preseason game, and I was wondering how the Cowboys lost that. And so that showed me exactly what happened. Right?
The kind of like underappreciated thing about these preseason football games is there's really a game within the game. Like there's a player who's like, I got to make a play. This game means nothing, but I got to make a play to stay on this team next week. And I really think HBO captured it pretty good with good buildup. to that final play. And in the fact that it didn't even count, it was a false start, but he did make the strip. So that's my second nominee. And then last nominee, the two foreign players talking to each other, Dallas and the Arizona foreign player. You got the Dallas guy. I think his last name is Alarcon. It's Alarcon. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Alarcon.
Yeah, it has that R in it that I don't know is how it's pronounced. But he's talking to an Arizona player that's also foreign.
Yeah.
And I could have used another 45 seconds of them going back and forth in their accents. So
and I have it's funny that you mentioned the Cowboys player Alarcon, because I have him in one of my other categories. It's like, why? What's the build up here? There's something, they haven't given us any story on him at all, and this guy has these weird little cameos in each episode, right?
Right, he is making cameos every episode so far. You're right.
Last episode, he was like, "I want some cake." I want
right. No, like build up. No, it didn't really make sense with the scene either. Do you have any other MVP scenes to add to those three nominees?
I thought the scene during the preseason game where Michael Parsons is talking to the guy about talking to the coach about playing time. He's like, "Coach, but you told me." It was like, it sounded just like my son, right? When I tell him I'm going to get him something and he's like over there crying, "But Dad, you told me you were going to get this for me." Like, he's holding me accountable, right? For
Micah Parsons still pissed. He's still pissed.
I love that. That just shows the passion of football from this guy, right? He just loves playing. He just wants to be in there all the time. So yeah, that I would have thrown that in there as an MVP team, because I feel like this is starting to become a trend, because we saw it in episode 1. Now we're seeing it again in episode 2. So.
That is true. We're 2 episodes in. We're starting to see a little bit of a trend with some players they like, some little actions or habits that they like. So Parsons, throw that scene in there. That's good. Where he's still pissed. Parsons still pissed that he's not in there.
Yeah. Cheers.
Next category. Cheers, D. Next category, reality TV show Greenlight. I got 2 ideas for this one. Start us off on this one. What do you think?
Zeke. Somebody needs to follow that dude around. I mean, shoot, I'm telling you, he's a walking frat boy. He's like, what comes out of his mouth, like it's always something funny, something exciting, and he talks to himself. I wonder if that's that's from taking so many hits to the head as being a running back, right? You got to talk to yourself sometimes.
Would your Ezekiel Elliott reality show be, would you give him tasks? Would you just follow him around? How would you set it up? How do you think we could get the most out of Zeke?
We have to give him tasks, especially like how he had a task last week.
Kind of like the real world where like you give them a job and they have to show up on time.
I need you to go there. I need you to do this.
Yeah.
I need you to wrap some presents for us.
Yes. I need you to wrap 3 presents. I'm all in on the Zeke reality TV show. He's a goofy dude. He's super muscular. He's got crazy hair. He's a crazy good football player. And he's just a goofy guy that I had no idea he had this in him. I just thought he never spoke, kind of like Marshawn Lynch. Like he just was annoyed with cameras, but Zeke loves it. He loves it.
Tell you, frat boy.
I got 2 ideas for reality TV shows from this episode. Number 1, the Ben DiNucci chess school. Ben DiNucci opens a chess school and he teaches either other players how to play chess, or he teaches like inner city kids how to play chess, because he came alive. He came alive when they were playing chess. We need more DiNucci in front of a chessboard.
And did you hear Dak tell him, "Man, you got to get some swag, man. You're just like playing." He told him, like, put a hoodie on or something, man. And then you see him a few minutes later, he actually has a hoodie on.
Puts the hoodie on, yeah. I did see that. Dak is giving fashion advice to the third string QB, and DiNucci changed.
Barbecue sauce on that chicken, man. What's wrong with you? Put some type of seasoning on there.
DiNucci. We need a DiNucci Dak chess matchup. I need to go the other way. Let's see if DiNucci can hold his own with the trash talk when it comes to chess. So I got reality TV show DiNucci teaches chess. And then how about this for a reality TV show? Cherie Parsons gets a job in the Cowboys front office. You know how, like sometimes like a kid on scholarship, they give his parents or something jobs at the school. I say the Dallas Cowboys give Cherie Parsons some sort of clerical job. And then that's the reality show. Like she has all the office dramas. She's wearing her son's jersey on Fridays and shit like that. Yep. And then we got to have like, not the hidden camera, but sort of like the office camera. And you see her like walk by another person's cubicle and like snag their like candy. Like they have a little candy bucket.
I can see her with the headset on. For some reason, I see her with the headset on or something, right?
Oh yeah. Like selling season tickets or kind of trying to sell ad space.
Yeah.
You want to come down and see my son?
My son play?
That's right. Am I 39 years old or 52 years old? You don't know. I'm Cherie Parsons. Yeah. So would you be all in on the Cherie Parsons gets a job in the Cowboys front office?
I would, because she's got the best personality, man. Like she has that aura, that energy that just attracts people, and she's got a great personality. Mm-hmm. And you can see where he gets it from.
And we haven't had an interview with her yet, have we? We just seen her in the stands cheering.
Yep.
So hopefully we get some of that. Training camp square footage category. Not a lot for this one. I had to get a little creative with this one. There was one drone shot this week of the condos and the field, which looked really good, but it wasn't that long. So I went with the buses. We had a lot of buses this episode. We had the Rams coming to the stadium or to practice on a bus. And then we had all the buses in the rain after the Arizona pregame.
Correct.
And I love that. Great shot. Buses in the rain. The game's over. You got to go in the bus, get some shelter from the rain.
Yeah, man. For this topic, I kind of was just stuck on like, where the hell is the rest of the facility? Like, where are these, like, I need to see a shot of the entire campus, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know where the actual training room is at. All we see is just field and then houses around the field, right? And then all of a sudden we're inside of a little square room of an office for Jerry Jones, right? And then the film room for the defensive guys, it's not that big either, right? Yeah. I'm still amazed at how this is set up and how, I want to say, how Jacksonville, like how third class of an organization, does things, right? This is like,
it's very surprising that the Dallas Cowboys would have such a run of the mill training camp going. I'm with you. I'm only hoping that we're going to have an episode dedicated to the campus. Like I want to see the weight room. I want to see the lunch room. I want to see like their housing setup. I want to see how they get from the housing to the field. So I'm only hoping we saw the bike. I'm only hoping that we have an episode dedicated to sort of housekeeping, what the players do the day to day. Anytime there's documentaries or something on the players day to day, I'm all in. I'm always all in on the inside baseball stuff. No, not even, doesn't even matter the sport.
And what has Jerry Jones motivated to do that at the same place year after year after year? I wonder what's the underlying motivation for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question that a writer should ask. Like, why do you always come here? Like, what's the drive to come to Oxnard? But maybe it's a little bit of like a boot camp. Like training camp shouldn't be luxurious. Maybe that's the thing.
True. Yes, you're right about that.
Yeah. Next category, unless you have something else for campus square footage. Next category, fun one. Quote of the night.
I got a good one.
Quote of the night. I got 4 of them. Start off with this one. We got to get on the edge. Mike McCarthy. I love that quote. I got the D line to their English coach. Say massage one more time. They want him to say massage, with the English accent. Yeah. I like that they were kind of good because they're like, say massage one more time. And he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Stop
with his English accent.
Piss off, you wanker. I need him to get mad with his English accent. Don't you think that'd be good?
That'd be awesome.
Then I got from Isaac Alacon, All Night Baby, with his weird accent. Do we know what he is?
I think he's Mexican.
Is he
Mexican?
He's Mexican? But like,
he has to be.
He's like Mexican though.
Yeah, for sure.
I like he's saying all night, baby. All night, baby. All night, baby. And he's saying it to no one. He's saying it to himself. And then my last quote of the night was that play when Kamara strips the guy and he's like cheering, but then it's like, oh, false start doesn't call. And he says, no, sorry, I have it wrong. Where they miss a holding call on Kamara. And he's trying to yell for the hold. They don't call it. And he tries to say, oh, they fucked it up. But he says, oh, they fucked it. He says it wrong. His anger. I think he's trying to say, oh, they fucked up. Or they fucked it up. But he says, they fucked it.
Exactly. Yes, they did.
Yes, those are my 4 quotes. Do you have a favorite or do you have one to add?
I had one. I had a favorite quote. It was when I don't know which DB this was. He was talking to Michael Parsons, and he tells him, are you getting back out there? And he goes like, no, I'm not gonna go back. Like I'm still trying to figure that out myself. And so the DB asks him, how many tackles did you have today? And Michael Parsons goes, 2. And he goes, well, why the hell did you even show up?
I did like that. They thought he was setting up for a compliment and he just slams him.
Yeah. He said, why did you even come?
I do like that it's still unknown that players don't play a whole preseason game. Like it's surprising to Michael Parsons, the first round draft pick, that he's not playing 4 quarters of a preseason game. He's like, why can't I play? I was like, you're only the number 1 draft pick. Can't be playing the whole game.
Future.
Right. I just hope this carries for the rest of the preseason. Like, coach, at some point he'd be like, coach, can I return a punt? Like, go sit down, Parsons, please. Next category, join the team award. Who would you want to be in this episode? Whether it's on the team, on the staff, in the family. Who did you want to be in this episode? Join the team award.
I want to be DiNucci.
You would want to be DiNucci, the third string.
I would want to be DiNucci. Yeah, man. Third string, all the pressure on me. I'm a pressure guy. I think I do my best work under pressure, right?
So you think there's pressure on him? I would think the third stringer has no pressure on him. I guess he has pressure to make the team.
He's got to make the team. Or I mean, at worst, the practice squad, but anybody can pick you up, I guess, on the practice squad. But making a team, this is not like it's. To be honest with you, he probably got lucky last year that he played the full season on the team because Dak got hurt early in the season. So
wasn't DiNucci drafted though? He's on a rookie contract, I would assume, right?
He was a sixth round draft. Oh, he was 6, but they could cut him at any time.
Yeah, but he'll have his contract, and then he can get picked up from other teams, and he'll still get paid for his contract. So he's got a little bit of cushion on him. Say he doesn't make the team or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would want to be DiNucci.
He's kind of like the Romo of this era, right? Because Romo was an undrafted quarterback, you know, and he was a bench player, and then all of a sudden came out here and just blew it up, right? So I don't know. They're thinking DiNucci can be the same person, but I don't see it. But I would want to be DiNucci in this off of this episode.
I got 2 choices. Number 1 person I would want to be on the team. I want to be on game days. I want to be that ball boy, the guy who wears like the vest that has pockets for the other balls, because you get to wear gear. You know, I love gear. You get to wear the vest. You got all the footballs. You're always in demand. They're always looking for you. You get to throw the ball. You get to get good at the art of the underhand football throw.
The spiral.
The underhand spiral. So I want to be the game day ball boy, or I want to be on the first string, but in this preseason game. So you don't play, you wear the jersey with no shoulder pads, and you essentially just sit on the sidelines and crack jokes for the whole game.
Yep. And eat sunflower seeds.
Eat sunflower seeds. You're cracking jokes. You're having the best time. You're first string. You're covered, but you're not even playing in this game. So I'm going to be first string at a preseason game.
somebody give me a hot dog is what Zeke said, right?
They're
I'm
talking
gonna
about
eat
what they're
plenty of
going
hot
to
dogs.
eat. Yeah, they're like, I want a hot dog. Zeke's eating an entire bag of sunflower seeds in the episode. How fun would that be? Be first string for a preseason game tonight. You get to wear the jersey. You get to be in the team breakdown.
Give me some
So
Skittles.
get Skittles. Yeah. I think Zeke gained weight in that preseason game. What about this category? Casting couch. You said you struggled with this one. You were a little unsure how to find anybody.
Yeah.
I thought two people should be casted in this episode. I thought Ben DiNucci should be casted and Dan Quinn needed to be casted. And I have for Ben DiNucci, James Franco. And for Dan Quinn, I have James Woods. I want James Woods to play Dan Quinn in the booth, and he can say, they fucked it. I want that. I want James Woods to play Dan Quinn in the booth and James Franco. Ben DiNucci. Yeah, because I could see Franco going super method, like getting way into chess, getting way into studying plays. I think that would be my two.
Too, man.
Right. Those would be my two.
There'd be a lot of pot smoking in that movie, Pat.
Yes, there would. I would want that in that movie too.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. What do you think? Casting couch. Do you agree?
I like it.
Do you disagree?
I agree.
What do you think?
I agree. I think James Franco's a good pick for DiNucci, right? They got not only do they, I think they got the looks, and DiNucci's a little bit of that. He kind of strikes me as a little bit of an airhead. DiNucci, little like confused, right? Like not sure.
Definitely on the field. He's very confused on the field right now.
So I can see that with James Franco. I think that's a good hit right there.
Yeah, and Franco can play confused and scared really well, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could be a fun pick, and he can kind of do the deer in the headlights look through his helmet. I think Franco could pull it off.
All I keep thinking about is Pineapple Express when you say James Franco, man. That's all I think.
I'm gonna change. Well, my pick has a caveat. I want James Franco from Pineapple Express to play Ben DiNucci. I want him to show up to practice, like, he's got the jersey, but he has his pajama pants on.
Ben DiNucci is Uncle what's his name? Uncle Rico from
that's not bad too.
That's a good one right there.
That's not bad. Yeah, Uncle Rico. Ben DiNucci needs a mustache. He needs a look. Every third string quarterback needs to be a little off. You got the first stringer. That's your blue chipper. That's your big arm, face of the franchise. Second string to me is a little bit of a coach on the field type. He's kind of like, he holds the playbook. He listens to the plays. He calls the plays in. Third string is got to be a wild card. He sits on the bench. He doesn't know where his helmet is. He reads the paper on the bench. He's got to be a wild card. That's my ideal first, second, and third string QB breakdown. Third string, wild card.
Wild card.
Yeah. What do you think for your casting? Did you have anybody?
That's kind of what I was going after is what you were all over. You're the movie buff, so DiNucci. I was gonna just take. I was piggybacking on that one. I was lost for words on that one.
Who from your SNL heyday would you want to have in this episode?
It's got to be Mike Myers. You
put Mike Myers in here.
Yeah, and he could give me the.
Yeah.
Don't shake your head.
What's your favorite Mike Myers movie? Is it Wayne's World? Did you ever get into his other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you got Austin Powers. We were just watching Austin Powers the other day, so those are good movies as well. What other movies did he really play in?
You're right. He had a lot of bites at the apple before Wayne's World really, really hit. Remember, he was So I Married an Axe Murderer.
That's right.
He had a lot of like SNL-ish movies that never really blew up until Wayne's World. Yeah. And then that blew up. And then he had the second round with Austin Powers, which was a huge franchise and too. He wrote that. And then he has this dramatic side where he was in Studio 54. Remember that, where he was like, he played the club owner and it was a dramatic role. He's got a lot of kind of sneaky range to him that we sort of just only saw in bits and pieces.
You know what we should do? We should pull in the little buddy or Steve-O for this segment of our.
I have been working on, not Andrew, my littlest brother. We do stuff consistently. I have been working on Steven, my other brother, for a talk for probably 6 months. He either doesn't like any of my ideas, secretly hates me, or just not interested. He's just not interested, you know? I've been working on him for a while because the guy has a lot to say. He's funny. He's got a ton of insight.
Super funny.
I haven't found, I haven't been able to motivate my own brother to do one of these interviews. I got a few ideas. I'm still gonna throw at him, see if I can get him for one.
I think he'll be motivated after him. I just told him he didn't know we were doing this podcast. So
Really?
I think he'd be motivated now knowing that I was doing a podcast with you. So he's like, man, I got to do stuff.
Okay, maybe that'll push him over the edge, and I can get him to talk.
He would be awesome for this segment because you guys will
talk.
You guys will roll for about an hour just on that one question.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. We like any of your good friends, you will talk forever and do a deep dive on absolutely nothing. Like it will be a one-hit wonder band, and you'll talk for an hour and it'll be absolutely nothing, but it'll be interesting. Next category, players' wives category. This is the family corner.
Yeah. We finally got some family this episode.
A lot of family.
Yeah.
A lot of family. I had, I wrote a lot of family time. I wrote the one player that takes his family to the beach and he's got a professional photographer with him.
Yeah.
And they're taking pictures. Then I got
Instagram pictures for sure.
Very Instagram friendly pictures. Then I got refugee family where they go to the game to watch Kamara and the mom's wearing like the cultural garb to the game.
Ivory Coast.
And then I got kids and family when they go on the field after practice. You can never get enough of the little kid wearing carrying the dad's helmet.
The helmet. That's exactly what I wrote down. That was exactly what I wrote down. That's like the best ever.
That's the best.
Way bigger than them. It's pulling them over, right?
Yeah. The one little kid is trying to do the tackle slide. He's trying to push on the pads. Can't get enough of that. I love when the little kids and family go on the field.
That was a good feel good moment right there, especially with the Ivory Coast family, right? Kamara's family. That was the first time they ever saw their son play in the NFL. And even the daughter was like, "Mom, your face is gonna hurt. You're smiling so much," right? I just thought that's got to be the best feeling as a parent to see your kid play in the NFL for sure.
Yeah, even it's a preseason. That was big.
Yeah,
that was nice. I'm glad they captured that.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good feel good moment of the show.
What do you have for the 12th man award this week? 12th man award, underrated, underappreciated, does the dirty work. 12th man award for the episode. What do you think?
I think my 12th man award goes to Coach Dirty. He's underappreciated. He's doing the dirty work, right? I liked him. I like that they showcased him. He's got to be my 12th man this week. You know, just his accent, right? And you could even go as far as saying the 12th man could have been even one of those defensive players who was mocking him. You know, they said, what is it? Mockery is the ultimate form of of flattery, right? Is that how the saying goes?
No, I think it's imitation is the
there it is.
Is a form of flattery. I don't know about mockery. Piss off. I don't want him to tell his players to piss off. I got a 12th man award. How about the pregnant yoga teacher?
Oh yeah.
Who's doing the yoga class and she's pregnant and she's telling them to like let it all go, do your stretches and all. I give her my 12th man award.
There you go. They had to be a pregnant woman. They can't, when you're in a training camp like that full of guys all the time, you can't have a good looking woman in there going in there trying to teach you. It has to be somebody that's like, oh, I can't Okay, let me do the yoga, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I think
And
that was set up.
And also it was nice. Maybe she thought of this. So like she had them putting towels over their faces. So I was like, yeah, put a towel over your face so you can't see me. So you can't see the female form while I stretch and stuff, just so you can focus. So I go pregnant. The pregnant yoga teacher gets my 12th man. Unintended comedy for the episode.
It has to have been that yoga scene at the very end when they had the dude in that position with his legs up in the air all the way back to his shoulders. I was like, there's no way I would have let a camera catch me in that moment like that, man. And blast me across the nation on HBO.
That's good. That's good. I totally missed that. That's right. They had the camera shot right up his butt while he's
right up his butt.
doing his yoga stretches.
He had balls and ass and everything, just all in it, right?
And he had the look on his face where he obviously saw the camera pointed at him, and he was like, oh shit. This is the angle. I'm not even in this episode. This is the shot you get of me in my butt in the yoga.
Nobody even knows me.
That's good. That's good. I liked when the defensive line was trying to do the English accent of the coach. Like they were kind of imitating him and they were kind of doing it. And then like they start adopting it. Like if you hang around someone long enough with an accent or something, you will start to do the accent.
You have to.
I do this when I go around people who say y'all. If someone's around me that says y'all, it'll just take me one weekend and I will start saying y'all.
Yeah. That's your Texas roots. That's not that
right.
You just pick it up. That's just your Texas roots in you.
Yeah, you just adopt it and you just like, this is how I speak now because that's how I want to fit in. So I think the defensive line should all have English accents by week 3 of the season. I think that'd be cool.
Do you have an English accent, Pat? Do you have an English accent for us?
Like an imitation, an impression? Yeah. Well, I got piss off, you wanker. I like how English people with English accents have funny analogies. Like, I watch a lot of cycling and like it's English commentators a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So if someone makes a move, say someone is making an attack on the group, one announcer would always say, he's got the cat amongst the pigeons, he does. And you'd be like, wow, cat. Oh, I've never heard that before. That's a good one. There's another one where he would say like, if a guy is digging deep on the road, he'd be like, he's reaching into his suitcase of courage. Like just kind of sophisticated kind of terms they analogies, have. Huh? Yeah. Also like how
ahead of us.
Yeah, it seems that way. I also like how they have little just different expressions. Like if someone is feeling better or something, they're like, I'll probably be right. They'll just say, I'll probably be right instead of I'll be okay, essentially.
Yeah.
So like little stuff like that. Yeah. Always is sort of like vexing to me. Always like, oh, I like that. I like how they say that.
I love watching soccer games with the English guys, man. Those are always the best. Sports period with the English commentary is awesome.
Yeah, I like it too. If there's with cycling, you got to buy the app and you can watch it. You have 2 choices. You can do the American announcers or the international, the English ones, and you have both choices. You can choose either. So it's cool. You have the option. You're like, oh, give me the English ones today. Give me the American ones today. What about pending questions after this episode? So I have 2.
Okay.
I got the first one. Do you think Jerry Jones's office will improve over the next few episodes?
Hell no.
No, it's going to stay the same?
Yes, I'll say yes, because they're going to go back to Dallas. And we'll see him in his own office in Dallas. So it will improve.
Okay. High hopes for the office.
Yes.
Next pending question. Here's kind of a broad one. How old do you think Zeke is mentally? Do you think he has the brain of a child? Do you think
he's got the brain of a 16-year-old boy going through puberty? That's what he has a brain.
Yeah, I see that too. I see he's like very reactionary, very hormonal, very in the moment, just whatever's in front of him.
Yep.
He kind of comments.
Love the dude, man. You need one of those types of guys in your group to keep everything alive, right? Mm-hmm. Keep everything fun. Yep. Do you have
16.
Do you have a buddy that he reminds you of that you guys grew up with?
Let me think. Let me think who he might remind me of. Um, Maybe not high school, but definitely a few college where it's sort of like there was the guy who was up for anything. It's kind of like, what are you
Mm-hmm.
guys doing tonight? We're going over here. It's cool. And he's just down. He's just down to go. Like, you guys going to lunch? Yeah, we're going to go here. That's cool. And he's just in for whatever is happening around him. Like
Make it happen.
everybody, yeah, like the party's over here is like, great, great, great. That sort of guy. He kind of reminds me of friends I had like that, where whatever the group is doing, he's down with.
Yep. And
That's
then
sort of my
and then
thought.
it's so funny that he's like that, and he probably plays one of the most physical, violent positions in the NFL, right? The
Mm-hmm.
running back, just and he's a smash mouth running back type of guy, right? So you think
Right.
he's just just wanting to bite people's heads off and everything.
Right. And
But
he's
he's
just this total goofy goofball.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
If
Um,
if he was a dog, he'd be an English bulldog.
I can see that. That's a good call. What about you? Do you have any pending questions after this episode?
I still want to know what the whole point of this guy Alakon we were talking about earlier. Why is he
Gotcha.
even on it?
Yep.
What is he there for? We
Yep.
haven't got any backstory on him, and he
He's a
gets
mystery right
cameos.
now.
He's such a mystery. And then I
Yep.
was reading something on Twitter today. He got put on he has a roster spot for some reason. I just saw briefly what the tweet said. Um, but they mentioned him.
Mhm.
He has a roster because today was a cut down day, right? The NFL was cutting down their players, and they mentioned that he still has a roster spot. So I don't know where he came from, what it is. I wonder if it's a form of the Rooney rule, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, very
For players.
mysterious. We don't know this guy. We got
No.
we got a couple quotes from him. He's got a weird accent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's a
doesn't
good
do it,
question. It might carry on.
and we don't see him playing anything. He's just always standing there.
Yeah, that's a good pending question. I hope we find out. Or just like, what if
Yeah.
one day he's just not on the team anymore? And like, where'd he go? I don't know.
No, we
He's
don't know.
gone. He's gone. What
He's
do you
over there
think?
carrying helmet.
We found his empty helmet in his locker room. After this episode, regular season prediction. Did this sway your regular season prediction all after watching this?
That's a good question. I was trying to think hard about that. It does because all they showed was DiNucci on there, and so it's like it's got me wondering, like, are they showing DiNucci because they know something about Dak and they don't want to showcase Garrett Gilbert, who's really the one taking all the snaps, because they're trying to hide something?
Mm-hmm. I can't
So
help
that's
but
kind of
think something's up too. Yeah, with
yeah.
that.
So I'm going because of all this. I've got to go. What are they? They got 17 games. I got to go 9-8.
Oh, really? I
They're
went.
going 9-8.
I last week I was between 10-7 and 9-8, and this week I sided on the side of 10-7.
So
So
you gave them a win, huh?
I
You gave
gave
them
him a win after seeing this. I like the team unity building. So I went
Look
10
and
and
see what
7
I
after
got last
this.
week. I got to see what I gave them last week.
Yeah, you went high last week.
I had a high one.
You had them going deep into February last week.
I had them at 12-5 last week, so they took a couple.
Sounds right.
They took a couple losses.
Give them a couple losses on the road after this week. Fair. Who won the episode?
Coach Dirty won the episode, and DiNucci won the episode.
I had Ben DiNucci, ? Football refugees, ? Won the episode.
Yeah. He
Guy
came on strong at the end.
Yes. Yeah. Football refugees. And then Ben DiNucci were my nominees for who won the episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the English coach, Coach Dirty.
Coach Dirty.
Good screen time for him this week.
You got the best last name too. You're a dirty coach. You know.
I liked his story too. He played NFL Europe and
did
5 seasons, then got into coaching. I liked his
linebacker.
Yes.
They showed a clip of him tackling. It was like looked like a high school clip.
Yeah. That NFL Europe, yeah, is this a different ballgame?
Not too competitive, right?
Right. You know how we USA we play soccer and we totally
Yeah,
suck to the rest of
yeah,
Europe. That's what NFL Europe is to us. It's just we don't
yeah,
even
for sure.
acknowledge it. We're just like we can't be bothered with you.
Uh,
So
like the G League is like the CFL, right?
right. Yeah, exactly. NFL Europe still around, still kicking. That was episode 2. That was the categories, but now it's time for Diamonds Are Forever. Story
Yes.
from our past. D, Diamonds Are Forever. You have the floor.
Okay. So my story, I got a lot of stories, and I don't know if I should tell this story. I don't know who's going to be
Ooh,
listening to this,
you're
right?
conflicted about this story.
But it's one of those, it's one of those stories of of young teenage boys, growing up and just getting into summer nonsense, right? And it was a story. It was one summer where I stayed the entire summer with you guys, right?
Yep, you lived with
And
us the whole summer.
we were bored, and I think that summer came a couple cool quotes from your dad. I remember your dad telling us go to bed. He would just say, "Boys, sack," right? Uh, I want to say that was the same summer that we got that quote from your dad. But we I had this was the age I think we were about 16, 15, 16 years old. And I had a really good friend of mine, right? I grew up calling him, my cousin, Jim. His name was Jimmy, right? Jimmy
Yep,
McFarland.
I remember Jimmy.
Jimmy was a couple years older than us, right? And so he turned 18 before, anybody did. And so I remember when he turned 18, he gave me his ID, right?
That
And
was big. That was
I had a
big.
fake ID, right? At
Yeah.
15, 16 years old, that was like, oh my gosh, right?
And then can I say with the fake ID, he was 18, you were 16. Jimmy McFarlane is just a black guy. And that's all
Yeah.
we needed. Like that was enough to be like, anybody looked at it and be like, yep, that's you. That's you, Diamante.
There
That's
you
you.
go.
That was the extent of the fake ID. It was just another black dude's ID. And thus you had a fake ID.
Fake ID. I have a couple stories of that fake ID as well, which is funny. But anyways, I remember we were going. You and Steve-O were going back to my house on the east side. You were taking me home so I can go pick up more clothes because I ran out of clothes, right? And I was gonna stay over there for like another week or something. And so I had this fake ID, and we got this bright idea to we wanted to buy some Swisher Sweets, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, I was so scared. I remember being so scared. We were like, dude, just go up there and let's just buy some Swishers, and we could just smoke cigars at night, right? And so we we go into this the neighborhood Circle K, right? And we pull up, and I get out of the truck, and right before I get out of the truck, I tell you guys, I'm like, hey man, if you see me running, just have the car running. If you see me running out, just be ready to go, man. Just be ready to go. Because this is the first time I had ever used this idea. I had it for a little while and I never used it, right? And so we walk, I go in there, I go into the Circle K, and I say, can I get a pack of Swisher Sweets? And while all this is happening, and I don't know this, right? You tell me afterwards, there was a fight that broke out outside that Circle K while I
Oh,
was
was that
inside.
night?
That was the same night. There was a
Right.
fight that broke out in the parking lot there while I was inside using a fake ID at 16, 15, 16 years old, trying to get some swishers, right? So I come out, I'll start walking out and I have the swishers in
Right.
my
And two
hand.
guys were going at it in the parking lot. Yeah. As
Yeah.
you walked out with your nervous face and your ill-gotten cigars.
And I remember I pumped my fist like this when I walked out of that that Circle K.
I
And
forgot about the fight. Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
and that was the first time I had ever used a fake ID, right?
Wow.
And there's other stories that went on after that with that fake
Yeah,
ID.
that
We
was
all
just the
know.
beginning.
That
That
was
was the
just the
start of
beginning.
that fake ID usage. I
What
forgot
year was
about the
that?
fight.
That
I
had
mean,
to have
it
been what?
would have been
About
90,
15, 16.
96-ish,
Yeah,
95-ish.
96, 96, 97. Yep,
Yeah, that's a good story. The first usage of the fake ID,
yep.
the very first usage. Yeah, you went to buy
And and
cigars
and we
and a
went to go and
fight
we
was
hung out
happening.
and we hung out at night. We snuck out in the backyard at your mom's house, right?
Right. Then it
We
became,
smoked it.
yeah, the adventure to actually smoke the cigars. Had to find a place, had to find a lighter. We had to kind of fumble our way in like how to actually do it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good diamond story.
What do you
A
got?
fake ID. Okay, mine is from maybe a couple years previous to yours. So maybe
Okay.
we're like 13 years old or so, 14 years old or so. Again, you're at our house for an entire summer. And essentially, my mom and dad are making us do like manual labor in the mornings. They're like, all right, you guys can't just lounge around. You have to do something. So we would have like these little tasks to do in the mornings. And then we essentially would have the afternoon to
Yep.
ourselves. And we would play basketball. We would watch daytime TV. We would wrestle. We would just sort of be active in the afternoon. And at some point during the summer, you get a pimple on your forehead. And we're like, hey, and at first it's kind of cute because like Dino's got a pimple. Like, oh, he's a teenager. And then cut to 2 days later, your pimple is now double in size and it's growing on your head. 2 days later, your pimple is the size of a golf ball on your
It was
head.
this big.
It was huge. And then in order to combat this pimple, you put a Band-Aid on it. And all it does is make the pimple look 10 times bigger. And we're walking around the city. You have this huge knot on your head. And you
Dude,
have a Band-Aid over it.
it's
And
so
people are like,
funny that you
what's going on with this guy?
it's so funny that you bring up that story, man. That's such a funny story because you know what it was? It was
No.
I ended up having shingles. And this is how it happened. It was the same summer that we were working with Ray, which was my story last week. And I leaned up against his screen. He had the screen that for the drive-through window, and the screen was all dirty. And I leaned up against it right there, and it just blew up from there. And Pat, it's funny. See how my hairline kind of goes in like that right there? That's from that same pimple. That's from the shingles because it went into my hairline and I don't grow hair there anymore. So I have, see, if I push it up a little bit, you can see it a little bit, right? That's so funny that you say that story.
Well, it was just odd that you were like, in order to combat the pimple, you put Band-Aids over it. And all it did was make it more visible, more noticeable. You're walking around, it looked like a knot, like a welt on your head. And in true Diamante fashion, you're just like, yeah, we'll still go to the mall. Yeah, we'll still just go around town. Yeah.
The show doesn't stop.
Yeah. And at some point, I'm sure my dad, like he tried to lend his medical advice. And I always forget my dad is a psychiatrist. He's not a pimple. He's not a dermatologist. He's not a surgeon. He's like, oh yeah. That's that. We'll get some of that. We'll get some of that. And then you end up with a Band-Aid and this huge knot on your head for like 3 weeks. Like it was a long time.
I found out it was shingles, man, at a young age. What can I say?
You had a huge knot on your head, but did that slow you down? No, you got a fake ID a year later, bought cigars, and we witnessed a fight outside of Circle K on the east side.
That's good stuff, THE.
Yeah. Well, that was episode 2. I'm looking forward to episode 3. I'm really hoping for some deep stuff for episode 3. I hope that we get into some of the players that we've kind of become interested in now. So I'm hopeful.
I need the next story, Pat. I need you to tell us what your most memorable experience of the Dallas Cowboys has been.
Okay. I
already know what it is. And it's crazy that you even went there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll couch that for next week. I definitely have that story. So, okay. That's a good one. All right. We have episode 3 coming. We have a potential Dallas Cowboys story coming. Hopefully you don't get shingles between now and next week. Diamante Williams, Hard Knocks, Diamonds Are Forever. See you next week, buddy.
Pleasure's mine, sir.
Okay, that is the show for this week. That is episode 2, Hard Knocks, Diamonds Are Forever review with me and Diamante Williams. Wow. What about those stories? What about that? What about that mischievous mind that was Diamante Williams circa mid-90s? Of course, I was there and I simply enabled him. Well, that's what the stories are. You knew what this was. Episode 2, what did you think? Are you okay with the heavy DiNucci content? Are you enamored with needing to know more about Micah Parsons' mom, Charisse? I think Hard Knocks is about to take a turn, and we're going to see a ton of information coming up. I sure hope so. Jerry Jones, give us what we want. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for those who came to see me do stand-up comedy. And give the channel a subscribe. I see it. I like it. I appreciate it. You're the best. Diamonds Are Forever. Check it out. Next week, we'll be here for episode 3. Thank you all. Be well.